You already know what it is. I'll let your boy. It's your boy, Mr. Easy does it. L8K, Mr. Number Letters, Jazz America. Yeah. What would you tell to your younger self? What would you tell to your younger self, right? If you were 18 years old, what would you tell to yourself? I would say increase your work ethic, find a work ethic that is reliable with results, meaning that apply a work ethic in whatever you're doing to see if you get the results. Once you get the results, be consistent with the results and the work ethic so that you can keep moving on an elevated path. Find someone who can put you in circumstances that can make you gauge those results to see in a room full of like-minded individual that's on the similar path as you. How do you gauge yourself within those individuals? And are you elevating amongst your peers, competition, and like-minded individuals? Um, how do you find that? Ask more questions. Um, Train yourself or find individuals that can train you by asking questions and saying, yo, I need help with public speaking. I need help with critical thinking. I need help with math. I need help with all these different um, career paths that I see myself in. Are you familiar with those um, occupations, careers? If so, what advice can you give me? Once you get the advice, apply the advice, right? Um, Learn about your hobbies in your leisure time. One thing I used to do was collect basketball cards, baseball cards, stuff like that. If I knew the value of where it was going in the future and what the worth of each player was going to be just by the initial um, valuation of being drawn to a certain player. So if I knew a certain player was going to be a superstar and their value was going to go up, I was automatically drawn to those individuals already, and I had that basketball cards, but not knowing where the market was going to go because I wasn't surrounded with individuals that were um, fanatics of those type of um, hobbies. You know what I'm saying? Or sports fanatics that was um, looking at it from a business perspective. So I would learn that. I would learn how to monetize much more faster. Um, we grew up seeing business from our peers and from our parents, but if we don't ask, it seems boring. You know what I'm saying? So that's something that I would. But you have to know what type of questions that you want to ask in the midst of these um, situations, because you're like, yo, I know my mother's going to work. I know my father's going to work. I know my mother owns a business. I know my father owns a business. But what are the um, systematic steps that keeps the business um, afloat or keep the business successful. You know what I mean? So I would learn to ask those questions. I didn't learn to ask those questions until I was much more older because I knew that I wanted to dedicate my time into becoming better, but allowing me to become better in the situations that I was in, the survival required monetization. So, how can I monetize my time so where that I can have more free time to become better at whatever I want to become better at? So, if I'm constantly in a situation that's taking up my time of service, then I can't get better in the servicing of myself. So I have to learn to service myself first before I could service others, right? Depending on what career path you choose. And it goes the opposite. If you choose a career path that's into serving other people, then you would want to excuse me, serve more time serving others than you do yourself, because for you and your career choices, that's where you see yourself becoming an asset in that situation. So you have found a situation that you're content with based on the results that you want and what you're looking for. So I would figure that out. Um, I would learn to seek out individuals that could teach me how to critical think. So I had to learn how to read a book, not within just reading the words, but to understanding how to read and how to analyze the context, you know what I'm saying, and read with understanding. So I had to learn that. I would tell myself that. I would tell myself to um, find information that is fun to learn, right? So that's just like in finding a career or finding a situation that you love, right? You don't just want to listen to individuals tell you, well, go to school to be this or go to school to be that. Because when you get to school and you start learning the information, you're like, yo, I don't really want to learn this anymore. So you're like, let me find something that I enjoy learning so that while I'm learning it, it doesn't seem as if time even exists. So while I'm learning this, I'm like, yo, time don't even exist because I just read mad pages and I flew through those pages and the time flew by and I didn't even realize. But within that time period, I learned so much for myself. I learned so much that I'm eager to learn more, right? So that's another thing. I would tell myself to be more organized within the organization of things and just the labeling of things. You got more time to think freely and think within um, a free space of thinking. Like your mind isn't clouded, your mind isn't um, all over the place looking for things that um, can be categorized in a way that you could easily find things. So another thing would be um, learning how to think. You feel me? Learning how to mediate my mind. So when you're young and you're coming up in certain environments, you're not born with anxiety. You're not born with anything. So I don't believe somebody is born the way Only thing that you could be born with is the genetics. So you genetically become athletic. You genetically um, look a certain way. You genetically have certain genes and memory genes that has been passed down from um, your parents and stuff like that. But you also learn through environmental situations how to have a certain behavior, right? So I would learn, or I would want to be in an environment that will make me less anxious and have less anxiety in the beginning. Because here's what I mean when I say that. It's like, yo, you coming from a certain environment with certain expectations, right? So especially with playing sports, you like, yo, I gotta be good. I gotta put on. I gotta be the best player. Oh, my family's gonna be at the game. My friends are gonna be at the game. I gotta perform good. And then also, you living in an environment where it's like you gotta watch your back. You gotta be prepared for certain situations. So you have to learn to adjust your mindset while being an active player in whatever sports or whatever career choice you choose. You know what I'm saying? Throughout your younger years. So within that, you like, yo, how I grew up was like, yo, man, you traveling to a game, you going into a different hood, you going into a different neighborhood, right? So the opposite team or school is not your friend. You feel me? We don't we not cool like that unless y'all grew up playing in AAU or y'all seen each other in the streets and y'all played in tournaments, stuff like. But we not on no school bus. We traveling through public transportation. You play for that team. I play for this team. Even though it's a sports situation, we come from two different environments. That neighborhood don't like that neighborhood. So not only am I coming to bust your ass within the sports, but there's a natural um, competitiveness of environment that you just grew up in, right? And that could go to another level based on your temperament, you know what I'm saying, or the people around you. So finding people, you know what I'm saying, who got your best interests at heart, right? So that you don't end up in situations like that. And also having a situation where it's like, yo, I don't got that much anxiety and I could multitask in the mediation of just having a calm energy or a calm spirit where I could focus in the game, or I can focus in school because there's a environment that allows me to have a focus. I don't have to be super influenced by, or just learning how to mediate those influences, right? So I will find individuals and friend groups that have the same mindset, right? If you can, the best way you can, right? Because you can't help what environment you grow up in. So find those people. If you find them and when you find them, um, make sure that you're aligned with the blueprint of what it takes to become whatever you're trying to become, right? And they got your best interests at heart. So, um, like I said, taking more time into practice, you know what I'm saying? Whatever you're doing, make sure that you OD practice. Like you're over obsessed. Like you you got tunnel vision. Make sure that you got tunnel vision with whatever you're doing consistently, right? And have a balance of um, rewarding yourself and a leisure time to make your mind adjust and to grow into the results that it's supposed to grow in. Meaning, I'm gonna spend 1,000 hours shooting this jump shot, practicing these raps, um, practicing whatever craft that I have, right? So business, I'm focused so much on the transaction of business that it becomes an obsession, it becomes a natural high, it becomes second nature, right? But then also taking steps away to find other avenues of hobbies that could ease your mind away from when you didn't get the transaction, when you don't hit the jump shot, when you don't get the trade. Because if you become overly obsessed with the results and you don't get that one time result, or you know what I'm saying, you didn't get to a certain point, you don't want to feel defeated. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's another thing too. It's the balance of that. You gotta have to know when, okay, I didn't get those results in that basketball game, or I didn't get the results or the accolade, right? It can't be to the point where you become super angry to the environment. It has to be like, I bet I ain't win this Big Apple games. Yo, nobody ain't gonna see me for like the next couple of weeks or next couple of months, because I'm gonna be super focused. I'm gonna practice on everything that didn't get me to that point. So the next time they see me, I'm gonna be so amazing that I won't even have room to have a split decision. Everything is gonna be unanimous. You feel me? So when I was at my pinnacle, or every time I get to, not a pinnacle, every time I get to a certain point of success where I'm completely dominant, there isn't a split decision for me. It's like unanimous. You feel me? It's a unanimous decision. When I get better at something and it's consistent, there's a unanimous amount of money. There's a unanimous amount of success. There isn't like a split decision of success only in super avenues that I haven't mastered yet. You know what I mean? Because we have glimpses and moments of success. So you have, moments or whatever. So I would say that. I would say, have a balance of relationships. Like have your girlfriend, have your shorty. You know what I'm saying? Don't mess with too many girls if you can't handle it. You know what I'm saying? If you can, and you can balance it. You know what I'm saying? And communicate with individuals. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, shorty, my career comes first. So when we spend time with each other, I'm not gonna be as serious with you in the commitment that you're looking for. I'm committed to the business. I'm committed to my skill set. I'm committed because in the commitment of those things, and I get to a certain point, then now I have the time that I can buy. You know what I'm saying? You could buy the time, and I could spend time to spend with you, and I could buy time to buy you things, and to, you know what I'm saying? Vice versa. And you will have to follow suit and follow lead of how I'm treating you. So if I got time to be like, yo, I got time to spend with you, you're going to make time. You know what I'm saying? If I'm buying you things and you see how I operate and how I move, you're going to do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? If you see me getting better and you learn not to have a competitive or an envious mindset when you see the results, then you yourself is going to say, well, if he's getting better, then I got to get better, because then it's going to be complementary and the energy is just going to feed off of each other. You feel me? So it's like, yo, you getting better at something, I'm getting better at something. So then we look forward into the collaboration of us getting better. You know what I'm I'm saying? If I look good, you look good. You know what I'm saying? If you successful at what you do, I'm successful at what I do. You know what I'm saying? And then time spent, it won't be, yo, I need this to be done. I need this to be done. Because then you start moving out of desperation and you start moving off of survival instincts, and then you start doing shit that um, you're not necessarily gonna feel comfortable doing, and it's gonna create um, repellent. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna repel both parties in different directions and stuff like that. So you will want to become super obsessed with what you're doing. Um, find your identity. You know, that's something too. Find your identity. So what's your ethnicity? Where you come from? Are you comfortable with the way you walk? Are you comfortable with the way you talk? Allow yourself to grow into yourself, because at 18, 19, 20, 21, you're growing into your voice. You're growing into your looks. You're growing into your perspective. You don't know what your perspective is. You may not know what your perspective is until you get to an older age. Allow your communication to be um, clear with individuals that understand it, and communicate it so that they do understand it. If they don't understand your communication, then you don't need to be around those individuals yet. You don't need to be around those individuals, because it doesn't matter what you do. They're going to always be like, yo, I just don't get where you're coming from or what you're trying to say. So be mindful of your choices. You know what I'm saying? Make choices with individuals that are not going to be super judgmental. So if you have a friend group and y'all got a pact together and y'all doing certain things, make sure that y'all doing those things together and it stays within the pact of your friendship or your friend group. You know what I'm saying? So if y'all do certain activities together, make sure that y'all do certain activities together, but y'all keep it amongst yourselves. You know what I'm saying? And have those people around you where you could be like, yo, I could act like this around you. I could be like this around you. I could talk about these topics and I could talk about these situations. So now you're not in a world of loneliness, even when you're alone, because you know that you could speak to certain individual about certain things. Also, in the separation of getting better at something, you're gonna be lonely, right? So learning to be alone and then get better at something without feeling lonely. Because when you're young, you be like, oh, nobody loves me. Nobody want to spend time with me. Nobody. You look for your where your parents is at, and you know what I'm saying, all that type of stuff, because you're like a lone wolf. You know what I'm saying? You're figuring out, and then nature is happening around you. You hearing noises, sirens. You wondering, you're comparing and you're contrasting. Why this person living like that? Why this person get to do that? Why I gotta live like that? Why I do that? Those are the moments where, if you are aware, you capture those moments to find the people that you can ask questions to. Like, yo, what you see myself doing? Or if you see myself playing this or doing music, you see myself in business, you see myself as a doctor, lawyer, whatever career choice. Then you start to make those steps and find those individuals that, and allow yourself to be in situations of growth. So you're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna do certain things. You're gonna end up in situationships and friendships that are temporary for the moment. And you have to realize that and say, okay, what did I gain from the situation, not so much what you lost from the situation. What did you gain? How did I gain perspective from that friendship? How did I gain perspective from that relationship? And identify with those things early. The earlier you could identify with it, you'd be like, I bet I learned from this situation. So I'm not attached so much to that situation where I'm drained from it. I'm actually um, looking at it from how did I elevate out of that situation. You feel me? Um, don't go into situations super fast like that. Like um, the alone time is when you find yourself. You're not gonna find yourself in other people. You're gonna find what reminds yourself in other people. So you're gonna see reflections of who you can be and who you're similar to, but it's not your genuine reflection of who you are because you actually have to just be by yourself sometimes. You have to have the me time. So you can't go into, I just got into a situation, I'm in another situation. You're not fulfilling you. And you won't get to that point of self fulfillment until you have those moments. So you be like, yo, I gotta have this 30 minutes of my me time. I gotta go 15 minutes meditation real quick. I gotta have 10 minutes to smoke this blunt, or I need 10 minutes to go do 2 laps, 2 miles. You feel me? Because that's what's gonna make you you, and that's what's gonna turn up yourself. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna find yourself through those moments. Like, I bet I know I gotta go take this train ride. Cause I'm going from Queens to the Bronx, right? So boom, I got 2 hours. I gotta take these 2 hours right now. I'm gonna read this book because this book is talking about whatever career choice or whatever information I'm trying to get to. So that's a moment of self. You feel me? Rather than you being on the phone for 2 hours talking about bullshit about another person who is excelling at whatever you didn't excel at. So you going from situationship to situationship to relationship. Is it in the betterment of business, or is it the taking away of yourself? Because look, you go from that situation, that relationship. What are you gaining from it? So if I'm saying I got multiple relationships and I communicate that, and those multiple people know that I share that commonality of relationships with people, then that's a different environment. That's saying, okay, yo, here's me having a clear communication of these relationships that I have. This is not toxic because I don't have to bullshit or talk about whatever lies I gotta make up or whatever, you know what I'm saying, to satisfy each individual, you know what I'm saying? Or you make your own choices, but this is just the advice for my younger self. So I'm like, yo, boom. For me, at best, was having clear communication with why I was in situations that I was in, also communicating what I got to get done and what was important and what was not important. Because then they knew who I was and they would have a choice to accept me. So they're like, yo, excuse me, K, well, that nigga, I know this nigga is in the park. I know this nigga's in the studio. I know he's focused on something. I know him. If you don't see him, he locked in. This nigga doing something to, you feel me? He on some business shit, or you know what I'm saying? That type of thing. Rather than, yo, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm all over the place. You don't know where I'm at, I'm telling you this, I'm telling you that, I'm telling you this, I'm telling you this, I'm telling you that. You know what I'm saying? I'm more so clear cut communication type of guy. This is what it is, this is who I am. You have a choice to be around me, deal with me, So at a younger age, I would tell myself that faster, right? Because now I can allocate my time into a space of less anxiety and less critical thinking. Um, Learn more things, try new things faster, and be dedicated to them. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to learn how to snowboard, if you want to learn how to cook, if you want to learn about coding, if you want to learn about whatever, do it faster. The older you get, the less time based upon responsibilities and just the learning of the comprehension of how your mind works. Not for all people, for some people. You can also learn to think backwards in the state of youth. So you could be like, yo, I have a youthful way of thinking now because I found different ways to learn based off of information that I was seeking. So I found ways to retain information faster or retain more information that lasts longer because I learned a new way of learning. You feel me? Um, have your motivations, learn your motivations, and learn your influences. So learn what influences you and learn how to channel it into motivational activities that enhances whatever you guys want to do. You feel me? So um, I would tell myself that. I would tell myself use more condoms. um, I would tell myself um, um, be more responsible. Um, but that's a part of growing as well. So you're gonna have to learn moments of growing. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna learn moments of like, what is it to be an adult? What is it? What is the requirements to be an adult? What is this person's perspective? What is this person's perspective? Allow certain individuals who are in who have more knowledge than you, allow to be like receive information just to have an open mind about information and then also learn how to filter it out. So basically, okay, I like some things you said, I like some things that you didn't say, and then I can now think and make the applications so that I can see and judge myself based off the results that I'm getting. You feel me? So if I'm in a gym and you recommended this workout and I'm seeing that it works, I have more confidence in telling other people, like, yo, okay, I see you getting all these results. Where you learn that from? Well, I learned that from such and such. So now it's a confirmation um, of the validation of why it works. You know what I'm saying? So I see that. Um, what else would I tell myself? Um, just stay focused on what is important to you. Stay so focused on and learn how to be focused. Learn how to um, have goals because that's how you gauge the results now. So you're saying, okay, boom, um, I want to get to a certain amount of episodes within a certain amount of time, but I have this amount of time to get there. So I know on these days, here's what I'm going to be doing, and this is how I'm going to get it done. And now I don't have the leisure time, which is idle time, to do some bullshit. You feel me? Or now you know you have idle time and leisure time. You could go do some bullshit, not in the sense of you're gonna get you in trouble, but you're gonna get that out your system, like get that energy. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have those times to go. I want to go have a drink. I want to go have a smoke break. I want to go have a. Um, I want to take a vacation. I want to go um, on a date. I have time to go. You know what I'm saying? Chill with my homies. Chill with my friends. So set the goals now because once you goal setting, you don't have time to even think of why things is not working because you know that I'm working, I'm hitting the goals. So once I'm hitting the goals, it's working. And once it's working, then I know, okay, yo, I'm on track. I'm on course to get these results because I'm constantly getting the checkpoint of results to the ultimate goal. You know what I'm saying? So that's another thing I would say to myself. Um, Make sure that you have super goals written out and you find ways that work for you. You know what I'm saying? Everyone don't got the same setup or the same um, routine to get things done. Everyone don't have the same routine. So just learn that. Challenge yourself and be around people that's better than you. That's how I learned. When I was younger, I played with pros. As a teenager, I played with pros. I played with older individuals. I went at the best player. I didn't shy away from. If you was the best, I had to play against you. If you the best, I'm a study why you was the best, or I'm gonna go at the best with the music. If you're the best lyricist, if you're the best at this, I'm gonna say, okay, boom, you the best. All right, now there's a goal line of success. There's a bar that's set, right? So I have to understand, okay, this person raps like this. This person makes music like this. This person is making hits like this. I have to know what increments I have to move at to get to that level. Who is the best producer? Who is the best songwriter? So now I know these things. I can hear a song and I can hear the format of the song and I already know who wrote it because I've studied the songwriters. I studied the rappers. I studied how they write their bars and how they use the similes and the tones of their voice and stuff like that. I studied the basketball players to see how they move and stuff like that, and how the critical decisions that they make and the body movements. So now it's instinctive. You feel me? So all these things are instinctive. So now I'm able to set the bar. You feel me? So now I've become in a state of mastery, right? So now that I could create a way of my own that people can use as a blueprint or as a way to, um, as a template to get to a point of success. You know what I mean? So I would tell myself, always go at the best players and identify with people who identify you as a high competitive individual and learn who you dealing with. So know that it's a competitive situation because as you teaching someone, depending on their mindset and nature, they gonna challenge you to see if they got to a certain point. So you yourself will always have to keep being as of um, a checkpoint yourself. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta say it to yourself, like, I'm on the hierarchy of where you're trying to go. So it's only right for me to get better and keep getting better at what I'm getting at so that you can heighten your skills. You know what I mean? So I continue to heighten my skills in all arenas of what I'm trying to do so that I can be a well rounded individual, even if people are gonna see me for one thing. They're gonna be like, okay, we know you for this. Okay, you know me for this, but that's what you know me for, right? But behind the scenes or um, things that you don't see, you be like, okay, he's good at that. He's good at that too. He does this. He does that. So now I've made myself more valuable. You know what I mean? So that's another thing. Make yourself valuable. Don't get caught up into other ideologies of who people think you are. You know what I mean? Don't get caught up in that. Because who they think you are could paralyze your image. So if you dwelling on who they think you are, then you're not gonna evolve into who you think you are. So I don't let people define me at all. I just let people have their perspectives and have their perceptions and let them be in awe and be wowed by when I defy um, barriers and thresholds that they placed upon me. So I'm like, okay, you didn't think I could do that? That's cool. I knew I could do that. So when you're surprised and amazed, I'm not surprised and amazed. I'm looking at it like it's regular to me because I knew that I could hit that shot. I knew I could make those records. I knew that I could talk about business how I talk about business. I knew I could come up with ideas. I knew I could be creative. I knew I could be successful at all the things that I do. So building that confidence, learning what it takes to build that confidence, and getting everything that you need to gain that confidence. So investing your money and saying, yo, um, you could buy whatever you want, right? Because I'm not going to say you should buy this instead of buying this or doing that. You can buy whatever you want, but make sure you have a balance of, um, what is it you circulating your money on. So I'm not just overly buying books. I'm not overly buying clothes. I'm not overly buying food. I'm not overly spending my money on habits. I have a balance of what I'm interested in so that I don't overly consume because I could read 1,000 books and never apply it. You feel me? I could buy mad outfits, never wear it. I could buy a whole bunch of food and it spoils. Like, so what is the balance of your investing and what is the balance of you investing in yourself? You know what I'm saying? What is the time that you spend with yourself? Do you go for your walks? Do you do you talk to yourself with affirmations? Do you that's another thing. Talking to yourself in affirmations, like talking to yourself in the mirror and like seeing stuff that because your mind gonna think negative. So your mind is gonna be like, yo, I don't like the way you look today. I don't like the way how you look in that outfit, or I don't like the way you did it. And your other mind gotta be like, I don't give a fuck, nigga. You are amazing. Like you are fucking great. I don't give a fuck what that person just said. I don't care what these people just said. I'm amazing. You didn't do good in the game, or you didn't do the nigga. Yes, you did because you got better at this. So you gotta look at what you getting better at. Like, what are you evolving in? What are you evolving at? You know what I'm saying? Can you communicate in certain environments? And do you learn when you don't belong in a certain environment. So you be like, I bet, nigga, it's time for me to go. You feel me? Or nah, I'm gonna chill tonight. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna just, you know what I'm saying, go to the gym. I'm gonna just go make some more music. Or I'm gonna make this episode for Us TV, and I'm gonna chill. You know what I'm saying? I bet. So it's the balance of those things. It's learning those things. But you're gonna go through those moments of not knowing when and how and why and all of that type of stuff. And hopefully you continuously have a purpose of direction and moments of goals so that you stay driven in a certain mindset. You feel me? Because anything could deter you away from your goals or your whatever, but you making sure, like, I bet I'm continuously getting these things done, no matter what anyone says. Like, the shit is getting done. There's just people that's gonna be oblivious. There's gonna be people that are tired of seeing you win. Why you always winning? Why you always hitting the shot? Why you always look good? Why you always in shape? Why you always think positive? Why you always able to instinctively do things, the stuff that you're doing? How? I spent more time thinking in a certain realm or acting in a certain realm or making decisions to be a part of a certain mindset that it just happens that way naturally. So I can tell you why it happened because I just told you why. So that way I would tell myself, I'm telling you why. So me telling my younger self, as a young person, since I knew, like, since a kid, since I was born, since I existed into this world, since I could even remember, even my kid knows this. Like, since I can remember, right? What I speak of me and what I speak to my kid and my kids, it's the same thing. I don't talk in doubt. I don't talk in non belief. I don't talk in um, self defamation. I don't speak like that. I don't talk in. It's to the point where they telling me like, "Yo, you could do it. You come on." Now I'm getting the advice that I was given. You feel me? So I don't. Since a kid, since I could remember, since I knew in the existence of memory, I always looked at myself as a I can do it type of individual. Like, I could do anything type of guy. Like, you feel me? I'm here for a reason. I'm here for a purpose. I always thought like that. Um, no one taught me that. Uh, I'm not gonna, no, well, I'm not gonna say that. Everyone that was around growing up, that was the information that I received and gravitated to. Maybe because I had certain um, traumas with like losing a parent and growing up a certain way. So to find the identity and to identify with who I was and who I was becoming, those adversities gravitated me to information or to receive that. You feel me? So I don't have fear on the basketball court. I don't have fear in competition. I don't have fear in certain aspects. Um, Not everything, certain things you learn to, because it's the unknown. So if you don't know something, then you like, you don't know about it. So you're unaware, you're unsure of like why things are, you know what I'm saying, the way they are and how things get done. But once you start learning about it, you're like, oh, okay, like some of the things you like, damn, I knew that shit the whole time. So when you're younger, you like, yo, you already knew, like, I was already great. I was born like this. I was born with this DNA. It was just already in me. You feel me? It just happens the way that it happens. And the more I confirm it, the more things just happen for me. So like when people is looking in the midst of darkness and they looking at all types of, you know what I'm saying, all types of craziness and stuff. In that darkness, while y'all thinking that it's dark, like that's my light. You feel me? So when people are saying like certain things is toxic and certain things is it's toxic because you don't understand it. You know what I'm saying? You don't know how to receive it. You don't know how to operate within that realm. You don't know how to hear those sonics or see that vision or how to have it. Or you do know how to do it, but you do it in your own way. But what makes it toxic is it's the comparison of who could who's living more of this and who's living more of that. You feel me? So in that sense, when you're younger, you don't know how to cope with the darkness and the not knowing and stuff like that. So you have questions, and the questions that you haven't met the people that have the answers, and you haven't met the people that have the answers because you don't go seeking them. You feel me? You don't try to. You don't want to understand. You don't want to. But that's cool though, because when you get the answers and knowing all these different things, it may be too much to handle, too much to bear, too much burden, they say, for you to carry on your own, you know what I'm saying? Or just for you to have in your mind. So not everyone is able to withstand information of whatever, you know what I mean? So I would say that as well. Make the decision of when you're young of what are you willing to handle? What are you willing to bear? What are you willing to um, see and witness? And are you trained um, to have your mind um, in those realms? And can you handle that? And if you can't handle that, allow individuals such as myself to take on those responsibilities. You know what I'm saying? And then you can admit to saying, okay, yo, okay, I can't think like that. I can't do that. All right. You can't do that. All right, man. All right, homie. You feel me? Like, my mind has been trained to think within a certain aspect. You feel me? And then also learn for you as well is you gotta be like, even for me, I'm speaking for myself. Yo, homie, that's the world that you live in? That's how you see things? Yo, that's what you do. That's how you're good at that. You sure do you? That's how you think. Word. That's your profession. You're good at that. You feel me? Do I want to do that? No, I don't want to do that. But you're good at that, homie. You good at that? I bet you good at that. You feel me? Now, K, you're good at what you doing. I bet. So it's identifying with those things And when you hear this, don't listen to none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Don't listen to none of that shit. Because one is just inquisitiveness of why and who you're becoming. Two is a crying out for help. Yo, can you help me figure out who I am? Because I like who the fuck you becoming. But nigga, I don't want you to leave. And I don't want. So help me figure out me. So in me helping you figure out me, so you stay the fuck away from me and you don't try to bring harm my way and shit like that. Nigga, here's the fucking yo, okay, when what were you telling yourself when you was 18 years old? I'm telling myself the same things now. It's just on a different, it's on a higher level. And the only thing that changed me was the change of environment that didn't sustain my work ethic. So if I knew how to mediate my mind at a younger age, I would consistently have the same work ethic, which I am now able to do because I learned how to tell myself and how to apply the same work ethic that I had when I was younger. And then it doesn't deteriorate me, or it doesn't make me feel pain in a way where it's harmful to me. So the pain that people looking at as harmful, I look at it as a pain of success. Like, it's not painful. It's just a feeling that you have before you get to a result. So it's like, nigga, I know if I ain't hit the gym in 2 weeks and I go get on the bench, my muscles gonna be sore. I don't put it in the definition of pain. I just be like, nigga, your muscles gonna be sore for the next 2 weeks, and then after that, you gonna get results. It's gonna get results. So even when you see me in the up and downness of, yo, he slimmed it up, he got bulky and all that shit, like, I'm just going through the motions of success. I'm going through the motions of what physique fits me. I'm going through the motions of what career paths fits me. I'm going through the motions of what look I like for myself. I'm going through the motions of what design I'm going to get. You know what I'm saying? Like, what, all of that. So, how do I like to shave? How do I like to speak? How do the tone of my voice? Like, I'm just learning myself. So, when people seeing what they seeing, you're just witnessing the evolution of man. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's just what it is, you know what I'm saying? So me telling my younger self that the more and faster I would have been able to identify with those things, it would have made me more relaxed to know that the world was made up of all those different things that I didn't know for myself. So in the unknowing, it was more anxiety. Now I don't have those anxieties as much because I've identified with who I am and who I'm becoming. You feel me? So I don't have the doubt of um, speaking my truth or dialoguing with anyone from any avenue, white, black, corporate, hood, um, overseas, because the language is universal. You know what I'm saying? The language that we speak is universal. So, and if we don't share the commonalities of language and perspectives and goals, then I learned how to separate myself from what doesn't belong, feel me? So if it doesn't belong um, within my goal orientation, so it's like if I know I want to see myself here, I know I'll thrive in this and thrive in that, then it's going to be a language barrier for people who don't share the same commonality. So yeah, those are the things I would tell my younger self. Um, find people who, like I said, who are openly clear with communication about what the fuck they want, and you do the same, so that uh, you don't have those moments of clashing because difference of opinion, difference of uh, environment you grew up in, difference of how you were raised and stuff like that. So all those things got to be known so that you know what I'm saying, how you living, so that we can have this longevity of life and experience it together in a space where we could all coexist and be cohesive and have fun, you know what I'm saying? And be a part of members only, you know what I'm saying? On the press run to success. Because you already know what it is. Holla at your boy. Late bloomers, Jazz American, Mr. Number Letters, L8K, the sexy man himself. Yeah. Jazz America, that's TV.